How's it going, everybody? The Trilogy challenges are all over, but I wanted to talk about the Trilogy challenge and the discs that come in the Trilogy challenge this year, 2020. I decided to become a tournament director this year and try that out with the Trilogy challenge as my first event, and it was a lot of fun. I had about 56 people signed up. I had no idea how many people were going to sign up, and we actually had quite a few people on the wait list as well, but I limited it to just 56, and that was because my local course has 9 baskets. You play it around, turn around the other way, and play the rest, the back half as. So 9 baskets, but you end up getting 18 holes, and I felt like I just couldn't put too many people on that because they'd just all be running into each other. And we even split it up into 2 separate times just to have a little bit more space. But got the morning round going, and I decided I was going to play with a group. There was a person that didn't show up, and I was like, you know what? I paid for my own set of discs. I might as well just play around with these people and experience it myself, which was the reason why I had hosted a Trilogy challenge, because I wanted to get these discs, but there really wasn't a Trilogy challenge in my area. So I was like, well, might as well do one myself. And I had a lot of fun. I ended up shooting 3 under par, which was decent. It actually tied for first place, but I didn't take anything. I jokingly said that I won first place, and people laughed. But gave the gift cards and the championship disc to the other person who had also shot a 3 under par. But mainly what I wanted to talk about was the discs that come in the starter pack. For those of you that are maybe curious, now the Crown is not a new disc, but it is the newer plastic, the classic hybrid. And while it didn't really turn me on to the Crown per se, it did turn me on to the plastic. A weird choice of words, but what I'm referring to is I'm not a big fan of the beaded putters, and the Crown is a beaded putter. And I compared it a little bit to the Pure, and that's mainly because I throw with Pure, and so it's kind of what I'm familiar with. And the profile seems somewhat similar, except the Crown had a bead on it. However, they do not fly the same at all. You know, the Crown is more stable than the Pure is, and for me, this disc was great for a throwing putter, you know, during that round. It was straight, it just had fade at the end, so it was pretty consistent thrower. I didn't quite like putting with it, and that was just a comfort thing for me. You know, if you like beaded putters, then I can't see a reason why this wouldn't be a good putter to putt with. But I'm curious to see other putters like the Pure in this hybrid plastic. I really like the way that it feels. You know, the classic is stiff, and this has just a little bit of give to it, and it's not quite a blend. You know, it's kind of the in between those two, and it was great for throwing, great for putting. So good plastic to have. Now for me, the star of the show was the Bounty, and I really like this disc. I got this one in a Fusion, and I kind of compared this one to a Fuse, which I just got a hold of a couple of weeks ago myself. And you know, the numbers on this is more understable than the Fuse. However, the Fuse, I believe, doesn't have, it's just a -1-0, so it doesn't really have a fade. It'll just keep going straight, where this one actually is a -2-1, and it'll actually have a little bit of fade to it. So somewhat similar, but I was able to get some nice, beautiful flights out of this one, even in a little bit of a headwind, kind of just hyzer flip. It had a little bit of turn, came back, and landed right next to the basket for me on that hole. But definitely a disc that I'm going to be looking at more and throwing a little bit more and putting it in my bag, just because I didn't really have an understable mid-range. So this one is great. The last the SPZ3. I really wish they would have just named it the Superhero instead of the SPZ3, but this disc, when I first got it, I'd heard people compare it to GETAWAY, saying that it was stable, and some people were saying it wasn't that stable. And for me, it seemed like it was just a little bit more stable than my Escapes, and it wasn't quite a GETAWAY. And then I realized this is probably more like a newer Escape, because both my Escapes are all beat in, and I like the way that they fly now. So I imagine this disc is actually closer to an Escape than a GETAWAY, and it's just a pretty fairly straight flying disc. So I got some videos, put it in there, just so you guys can see how they were all flying for me. Took me a while to actually get some decent throws, just trying to warm up a little bit in the morning. But overall, like I said, hybrid plastic is really great. And if you like a beaded putter, this is kind of a flat beaded putter. The Bounty was an excellent understable mid-range, and then you've kind of got your straight driver. And I like the way that they did that this year, so that you at least had somewhat more of a stable disc and more of an understable disc, able to shape the shots a little bit more. So those discs will be coming out pretty soon. I believe November 5th they'll be available this year for purchase, so check those ones out.